You're right, I'm Jason Webster, and I need to tell you about my industry role model for this challenge. Now, there was a guy that used to drive at my local radio station who I actually ended up working with, but I'm not going to talk about him because he ended up being a massive Instead, I'm going to talk about Scott Mills.
I'm so excited. This is Scott Mills, and this is my brand new weekday afternoon show.
Scott Mills, Radio 2.
Scott also started his radio career at that same radio station. It was called Power FM. It was in the heart of the south coast of England, and it was the best radio station ever. It was so much fun. I listened to it thinking, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And what Scott did, he started there when he was 16. He dotted around the UK, so went to Bristol and Manchester, ended up in London at heart, and then went on to Radio 1.
And we are on. Good morning, I'm Scott Mills.
It was all about having fun. It was about pranks. It was the nostalgia that I think about it now. After a rubbish day of sitting at school in lessons, I'd get to walk out those school gates, jump in my mum's car and listen to Scott Mills in the afternoon on the radio.
This is Radio 1.
Scott Mills.
One of the biggest features he used to do was a feature called Innuendo Bingo. He would play clips of people talking on the TV, on the radio, and they had a bit of innuendo about it. And if you managed to keep the water in your mouth, then that was great. But it never happened. It was always too rude.
By the sounds of this, I really must start watching televised athletics more often. It sounds good.
Again, another tough heat here. He's got three top men inside him.
I once sent a demo to an old Radio 1 boss, and he wrote an email back to me saying, I don't want to sound too harsh, but you sound a bit too much like Scott Mills, and we've already got one of those. To be honest, I felt it was one of the biggest compliments I've ever had from a PD.
Well, the chemist have what I need.
Okay.
Unlikely, because I've just made up the products.
Hello.
Hello, could you tell me, do you stock Breezy Vag?
Do we stop? What, sorry?
Breezy Vag.
We don't, sorry.
So you know at the start of this when I mentioned that other guy and I really didn't get on with him at all, because of that I never wanted to meet Scott Mills. You know the phrase don't meet your heroes? It was kind of that situation. I even went to a party about 3 months ago with a couple of other radio people. Scott Mills was there. I avoided him like the plague, but I still listen to him as much as I can. He's the kind of guy to listen to and think, if I'm having a rubbish day, I'll listen to him and my day will definitely get better. And that's exactly what I've tried to do in my radio career. Try and make a difference to people's days. He's an absolute legend, a hero of mine, and he's the guy that made me want to get into this industry.
Thank you so much for listening. Love you, bye.